Message of today. And I quote, and I want you to quote this, and I want you to remember this. Remember this, okay? And I want you to say this as a mantra. It has nothing to do with me. Remember this. I'm going to say it again. It has nothing to do with me. Sometimes when we are attached, emotionally attached, mentally attached to someone, what they say and do can hurt our feelings. What they say and do can hurt our feelings. What we have to keep in mind is that people are dealing with their own demons. And you're attached to them so they can utilize you as an excuse or outlet. But always remember this when you're dealing with someone. This is going to give you patience. It's going to keep you balanced from getting out of your body. It has nothing to do with me. If we can look at the other person as struggling with their own demons and realize they're utilizing us to do it, then we can stop ourselves from being triggered. It has nothing to do with me. It's the key. That's the key. If you can keep this mindset, even in an argument with someone else, realizing that the other person is struggling with their confusion of what you're trying to say, has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with me. When you think like this, now you can allow that other person to express themselves. And when you listen to them, now you're listening to them as, wow, this person is confused within their own mind about what's going on and they're hurt. They're looking at the circumstance like this, so that's their perspective. It has nothing to do with me. You're not responsible for what someone else does. You're responsible for what you do. Even in your relationship with someone you are emotionally attached to very deeply, sometimes they can say things that'll hurt your feelings. But why are you hurt? Let's look at it deeper. Right? Let's look at it deeper. You are not held responsible for someone else's response to you. You are held responsible for your response. And so we must control ourselves. It has nothing to do with me. I want you to keep this gem in your everyday life, at work, wherever you at. Someone's going to trigger you and get in your nerve. You have to realize that this person is looking at you from their perspective. People have a right to deal with their demons. And sometimes we don't like that when it's put on us. We don't like when those demons are put on us. Because we feel attacked. I'm telling you right now, it has nothing to do with me, is what you say to yourself. It has first start saying this before you feel, as soon as you feel yourself triggered, realize the other and what the other, because of what the other person said. I want you to always remember this. It has nothing to do with me. Say it. Y'all chatted in the room. It has nothing to do with me. I'm thankful. Everyone is experiencing life and perceiving things through their perspective. They have every right to go through their demons and go through their growth. And some people are going to take things that's going to hurt you. There's going to be some fucked up shit that's said. But I want you to remember, always remember, it has nothing to do with me. And now you're free. If you can look at your loved one, if you can look at someone, they're struggling with their own journey. And although you're attached to them and you want things to work and you want them to understand you, you have to give them room to grow. It has nothing to do with me. Y'all chatted in the room, and I want you to take this into your everyday life. Always remember, it has nothing to do with me. Don't take it personal. People are confused sometimes. Sometimes people see you through their confusion. And then they give you the opinion about you. If someone is confused, doesn't have a clear perspective of you, and then they give you their opinion about you, and you take offense to it, you are now feeding something that you don't need to feed. Remember this at all time. Everybody can use this. Remember, it has nothing to do with me. Separate yourself and realize and have compassion, understanding, and empathy that the other person is struggling to see clearly what you may be seeing. So now you're free. Now you have released yourself from feeling attacked. And now you can deal with the person the way they need to be dealt with. And that's in patience and love. Because that's what we truly are. It has nothing to do with me. How people view you reflects themselves back to themselves. What people see is a perspective that comes from them. So if people have negative things to say about you, it's something within them that needs to be worked out and has nothing to do with me. If you see somebody that was friends with someone else, and then that friend tells all the other friends' business, personal life and business in public, just know that it's an expression of hurt. And it has nothing to do with me. Stop taking it so personal. When we all are in relationships, right? And you might be in a relationship with somebody that you just argue. And they ain't listening to you. I want you to take a minute and always remember what I told you. It has nothing to do with me. I love myself. I will not take part in destructive behavior. Because I'm not a destructive person. I am balanced within myself. So I have no need to partake in destructive behavior. It has nothing to do with me. That doesn't mean that you're better than the other person. It's just that the person is going through what they're going through right now. And you should be supportive, whether that means give them space, whether that means to just listen, whether that means to just... And this is when a person is mad at you and you got so much control over yourself that you could just sit there and be like... And even if they say things that might hurt you, you always remind yourself, it has nothing to do with me. And this has everything to do about how this person internally, from their perspective, views me. Especially if you know what they're saying ain't true. Or you know what they're doing is from a hurtful place. And even if it is true, still you don't get on that level. Darkness cannot put out darkness. Only light can do that. So stay in control of yourself. You are responsible for what you do, not for what happens to you. Your response says everything about who you are. Their response says everything about who they are. So if people are putting out negativity that's conflict within their self they're expressing, has nothing to do with me. Remember that. I love myself. We about to go live. We're going to have this conversation about the B12, and I'm going to ask, I'm going to open up for Q&A, but I love myself. Remember, it has nothing to do with me. Always remember that before you engage into destructive behavior. Peace to the gods. I'll see y'all in the next live. You're peace of the gods on earth was goody. What's going on, Wavy? Peace to the gods on earth. We're having this argument again, guys. I'm waiting for my bud, man. Y'all call in. It's also as a Q&A. Waiting for my guy to come on in and let's talk about it. I told him I would get on live with him, and we gonna talk about the B6, the B12 argument. Thanks, Brown Muffin. Shout out to Brown Muffin in the building. I love myself. Peace, immortal savage beauty. What's going on? Netert, because they're the T in it. Melanated Goddess, what's going on? I want y'all to notice that we gotta stop feeding the trolls. We gotta stop feeding negativity. We gotta stop feeding all of that, man. We gotta. Right now, we separating the weak from the elite. We separating from the real from the fake, and we gotta starve them out. I want quality over quantity. I don't want I don't want a whole bunch of followers. I want elite. I want smart people. I don't need everybody watching us. This is how we weed out the weak. This is how we weed it all out. I want y'all to notice when drama's happening, how the numbers look. When people are expecting negativity, how the numbers look. At this point, we want to stop playing with it. You understand? It's about quality over quantity. So, everybody in the room, all the intelligent people, I could tell you in the building. We in the building. This is how I always loved it. I always love it with the low numbers because we can really start to learn amongst each other, and we can start to collect the elite. Those that are wise, those that are truly here to learn, those who are really elevating in their own life journey. You understand what I'm saying? They're the ones that's watching right now. They're the ones that's got pad out. They're taking notes. They're listening to be inspired. And this is what we're here to do. Everything else is just a kind of... and I take full responsibility for the controversy. You know what I'm saying? And all the stuff that distracts us from the knowledge. Distracts us from our own path of greatness. Right now, I'm not feeding the trolls. We're not going to feed the trolls. We're not feeding them nothing. They cannot eat over here. Only thing they can give is what the lower self give them. We're not giving them nothing right now because we're here for a strict mission. We're here to collect the elite and convict the weak. So, we're going to get into this. We're going to get right into it. Looking for my brother to come in. Any questions or answers? Somebody said you did a great job.
You're good.
Peace, God. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm chilling, man.
All right.
It's good to see you, yo.
It's good to see you too. What's going on?
I'm all right. All right. Look, this how we gonna do this B12 thing, because I'm gonna give you do get credit because you always do jump ahead of things, and your true gift is that you got a whole lot of common sense. I mean, it's like if you had like a scale, you could see your common sense numbers and your intuitive knowledge is like it's real high. You know what I'm saying? This is how you always able to jump ahead of stuff, but you could be missing out when it comes to the B12 thing. What we're missing out is that B12 comes from the soil naturally. It would be in the soil. So if we were gardening and out in the garden, and this is your science, because the nails is where you would get a lot of that bacteria inside your nails. You would be gardening, and it would come from the soil. They pulled it out the soil. right? They pulled it out of the soil. So the other way we get B12 is through the ocean from the algae, right? And you may say another thing like, well, that ain't natural. Well, the thing about being natural is that we got to watch nature to see how we should be natural and where nature is getting their food from. So even in the Bible, right, which you use a lot, it says the fruit with the seed shall be meat for you. But then there was a flood, and then you got a list of animals that you could eat because there was a flood. Now, when things restore back to how they was, you're supposed to go back to eating what you eat. But we kept eating because they lost the knowledge. They had to follow the animals and see what the animal was eating, how they lick and test things. And then you will know, oh, okay, this is what I get to eat again, and this is what I don't get to eat, right? So, but the thing about it is, and people be looking at this and saying that, dog, you need B12. B12 ain't no fake thing. Like, it's real. All vitamins are minerals. They're vital minerals. So B12 sounds like it's a vitamin, but it's really cobalamin, which is basically a metal that makes it more conductive. It's a metal that goes into your body, right? So that's the reason why we do need B12 and why we should get it from plants. Now, because we don't have that knowledge and they taking it about the soil, you do got to eat animals because the animals are still eating the real soil, getting the B12, and do we absorb it from their blood? So that's why that was the first attack on the vegan community, because they had known they took B12 out the soil, and now they're saying, oh, how y'all gonna get B12? You gotta take vitamins. Vitamins aren't natural. That's why we go to the algae and the sea, because we would be fish people. And now people say, well, yeah, we should be eating fish. Have you been? I traveled around the world, brother. And people who live by the communities by the water, these are tiny little people. We not no tiny people. You know what I'm saying? These is tiny little, like pygmy people that can dive into the water and go pick the lobster with their hands and shit like that. Like even in Panama, like San Blas, where y'all was at, like I've been through them places, right? So we would get B12 from algae and the other place that comes from the sun. B12 gets made as a bacteria inside your gut, and that comes from the sun, right? But to be completely objective, because I am plant-based, not vegan, I am plant-based, to be completely objective, I agree with both sides. I think in a better society where we wouldn't be protesting by eating plants, in a better society, we would be we should be eating meat once a month or a couple times a month, because it will flush out our bodies better, because we have better practices around it, but not as much as we eat it. So now when you say like chicken or organic chicken, well, every house can't have no organic chicken either. That's why they had to stop eating it. That's why McDonald's was created, because they was like, let's get this GMO chicken to people. Coming for it. Because the fox is saying, nigga, you eating my food and you feeding me dog food. You eating my food and I'm eating your food. I'm coming to get the chicken. So protect the chicken, you got to kill the fox. Once you kill that fox to protect your food, oh, now we have the birth of Babylon, baby. Now I can kill this fox to stop him. I could burn down this tree to do this. I could tear up this ocean to do that. And then that mindset continues to perpetuate. But for you, you are kind of like the leader of the movement of going back to nature, which is beautiful because that's your position in life, right? What it is that you take the best of everything that these things have to offer. So when things start over, you have better practices. When you repopulate the earth with monogamy, you're gonna have to take all of the best of these things. So supplementing is a process that's a beautiful thing, and it should be re-implemented back into our lives, because we'll always because in order for people to survive, they had to trade spices. They were supplementing, and even eating is supplementation, because your body already got these natural vitamins in it. Your everyday life utilizes them, and now you got to get the food to supplement it again. So what you're saying is completely right. If these idiots who we live now in nature, they wouldn't be able to find B12. They wouldn't be able to find any of these things, because they wouldn't know how to watch nature and watch how to do it. But we have that ability now. So instead of, and you're right on this, because Babylon and society will eventually fall, but you don't want it to fall, and you go back in the dark ages with their ass. As long as while you're collecting elite, you need to be collecting the elite technology and practices. And so taking herbs and pulverizing them and putting them in the pill form so everybody in your motherfucking camp can have them in case somebody got sick. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's called technology. And technology is always an extension of ourselves. You would eat with your hand, and then you would grab a fork to make it easier. Is that a bad invention? You're supplementing a process. And so supplementing a vitamin, which you're right, most of these joints is fake, but there are good sources where you can supplement from, is not a bad thing at all. But I will give you credit because you are on top of it, because vegans do need to worry about B12, supplementing B12 and a bunch of other minerals. But it's not because this stuff isn't naturally in nature. It's only because it's been unnaturally taken out of nature. So when we get to this point, now it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and be vegan. Find iron, find B12. I'll be waiting. And guess who you got to go right back to? Johnny Doctor. And he'll have something ready for you that you won't be able to get off of. You won't be able to get off of it.
So to respond to you, I just want to say that, damn, you are very sharp, and I like how you come at it, bro. Like, I feel like you got a clear mind. I could tell you went to the tropics and cleaned yourself up. I could tell you did the work to even have a conversation with me. And I appreciate that, because there's so many people out here talking to me with toxic beings. You know what I'm saying? They got toxins in their blood right now, and they can't even get on my level to even start talking to me, but I can always feel my vibration in someone else. I could tell you did the cleansing. I could tell you went for real and went and did it, rather than people that's talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I just straight off the break appreciate that. Well, when I do stuff, like you said, it is before, ahead of people, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing it before people. What I'm doing and what I've done from my experience and the knowledge that I've gained from my wisdom or action of knowledge that I've applied, what I realize is this: even your fruits and vegetables that are grown, they're not grown naturally. I want you to let you know that. I want you to understand that even the vegetables, even some of your fruit, does not grow naturally in nature. I want you to know that we have evolved our food. As humans, we have started to evolve our food to make it more convenient for us to get the vitamin and minerals we need from the earth, which was nothing wrong with that. Just like you said, supplement. I want you to know that humans aren't completely stupid. I just think that we have, like you said, with the supplement, and that's cool. But we have to realize that in a real world, when Babylon shuts down, when there's not import-export, and we're talking about the food that actually grows in nature, and us depending on the nature that would be left to us after this destruction and flood, as in the Bible. You see now what we pushing? You know what I'm saying? What is coming to us? What is coming to us? Flood, earthquake, volcano,
forest fire.
Right. So when we think about what's going to be there for us to eat naturally at that point, at the destruction of all things, at the renewal of all things, we're talking about what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
what I'm telling you is there's going to be hunting and gathering. We're going to that place again of fishing. We're going back to the place of, you understand? And the main thing is going to be fishing and shrimp and the bottom feeders, because they have the bacteria that produces B12. And so if you think about the renewal of all things, just like you stated in the Bible with the flood, and when we think about these things, then you see why Chief is like preparing you for this time and place that's coming.
For sure, I agree. It's just too early. You know what I'm saying? And
you don't know that.
For sure, and that's fair. What it is though is that what you overlooking is that you gotta now you can start to see because when that happens, people are going to develop that same savage mentality because right now even the women and even women in your camp ask them how many is going to take a chicken head and cut it off. After a while, people will get tired of doing that. They won't like to see that type of stuff anymore. And so then, just like it happened in this society, everybody used to kill their own stuff, and then they got tired of it because we aren't wired for that type of savagery over time, because it comes with a different type of mentality. It comes when you eat, yeah, for sure. When you eat blood and stuff like that.
Can we respond real quick? Because we wasn't
for sure.
We wasn't really talking about. Can we respond? I'm gonna let Nana chime in.
I want to hit that point there because I I do think that the human mind can take certain things and overdo it. Like we can take a certain mentality and start thinking about like that, because that's the capacity, the consciousness. Like we have that consciousness capacity to think about stuff, to abuse it, and to go there. But what people aren't taking into consideration is that in the ancient days, people literally killed animals as a ritual, as a like a praise, not as a slaughter, not as
it was a part of our culture.
Yeah,
that's true.
And they didn't do it, and they didn't do it like repetitively. They didn't eat it like every single day.
It was
day.
Norm to slaughter was norm. It was the norm.
For sure.
And as long as a human, as our responsibility. Even though we have the capacity to go there and to abuse it, we all should be following the Mayat, the laws of Mayat. And we all are going to be held accountable for that. Now, if someone in our village, when we come to that space and time, if someone in our village then therefore take their mind there, then we must have consequences and things and laws set up within the village so that it would not turn back into that.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be on the same thought frequency in order to keep this, under control.
And that was everybody's plan, and we would have to assume that had been every ancient society's plan, and they all failed at it because they all thought that we was just once it gets started over, we'll be able to do it again instead of going into that destruction already with the mindset
or consciousness fell into the dark ages.
It's a cycle,
and which it will. But but dark ages had always had secret knowledge, esoteric knowledge waiting in the winds. And only the people who were initiated were able to access that knowledge. So we're banking on that. I'm not trying to say we shouldn't prepare.
It's funny to me, if we look at the story of the prodigal son in the Bible, we see he was a farmer. His father was a farmer. And when his son came back, what did he tell the other son to do? He said, go get the biggest, and slaughter it. And we have to realize that our African culture, we use the animal's blood. We used it for sacrifice. It was always used. The animal was all. First of all, it's the way we look at it. And right now, we're not conditioned to see slaughter. We're not. But then I ask you, are we living in our natural setting? Are we living in a natural are we living in a natural environment for human beings?
The answer is no. The answer is no.
When we say we have to condition ourselves, just like they condition us for the apocalypse. They're conditioning us for the apocalypse with Walking Dead, with the video game Call of Duty. We have to condition ourselves now to be prepared. And you might say it's too early. I think that Chief is right on time.
It's the right way.
I think that when you see me doing it, when you hear it coming through me, that you should know that it's the time to start preparing.
I got you. And all I'm adding to that is when you do that, don't because what you seen, these people didn't get it right. So when they did and they went back to do that, you could go back there already with new technology and knowledge. So when it starts over, you got everything already lined up, like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're going to do this for a certain amount of time, for a little bit amount of time. And you bring that with it. And so what I'm just adding to the conversation is that because I'm not against, trust me, you can see I'm already past that. The morality standpoint of it is not that higher life forms will eat lower life forms. That's how it works. Even though you think that you're the highest life form, when you die, the earth will eat you, which is a bigger life form, and will use smaller life forms to do it. It'll use that to break your ass down because the earth needs to eat your ass. So there's no morality thing when it comes to what we're talking about is if we're going to use a fuel source, we have to use a fuel source that's the cleanest, that's the easiest to recycle, and that causes the less harm when you're gathering and utilizing it, and that is our natural food, which is vegetation and plants. Because all we're doing is trying to supplement minerals through animals when we can get it ourselves directly.
I want to add to the conversation because
that was real.
I think, absolutely. And I think that as a collective, we do have to understand. There's 2 points that I want to hit. Abuse and the cycle of existence. First, I'll hit abuse first because I think that naturally in the human's mind, we are, right now we're doing everything for convenience. the place where we're falling, it's okay to have convenience. It's okay to evolve. But what's not okay is the abuse.
The balance, yeah.
Within that process of convenience. And I feel like humanity has taken abuse to an extreme point.
When have we not, though? When have we not abused it?
And this brings me into the cycle of existence. Humanity has forgotten, and we have forgotten that we are here on a evolutional journey. Just like we evolve our food, we evolve our hair, we evolve everything. We are on a cycle, literally. For humanity, there was once the ancient times, and now it's the modern day times, and then this cycle keeps going. This is just like when we explained back in a couple videos that we've made, the existence or God, or what you like to call light, it expanded itself into all of these possibilities, and now it is contracting itself back into the most condensed form that it once was, which is darkness. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
We have to take into consideration that we're living out this cycle, and we cannot miss this link in knowledge, because then we would like to argue, well, other civilizations did that and it failed. Well, let's look at the cycle. It's not a matter of who survived and who died, or who lived, or who did what. It's the cycle. And we have to take in consideration within that and embrace that in order to understand our purpose and what we're doing now.
I'm with you. Trust me, we on the same page. We in accordance with that. Yeah. What I'm adding to that conversation is that when we start to contract, we start to forget. The same way when you start to recycle into this new life, when you transition, you forget all those things. But what if you didn't? To see the Egyptians, they was trying to remember through lifestyles. They was trying to remember through their lifetimes of how to keep the knowledge when they recycle back into their world. So as we're contracting, it's like when you wake up from a dream, I'm like, don't forget. I need to make sure I write that down. So as we contract, we need to collect the elite, take the best practices, the cleanest fuel sources, the best way that we should conduct ourselves. That's what Mayat is, right? And then we'll see that, this is what they're trying to tell us in a condensed form. So when we get to Egypt and we get to these ancient societies and we say, well, yeah, those people ate meat. You damn right. The people on the lowest levels did, because they throw them to scraps. The higher up the food chain you get, the people eat less and they eat more pure, and they eat the food that was designed for them. So the monks, the people who was creating the pyramids, they was eating a vegetarian vegan diet. So was the gladiators. You got to watch, if you haven't watched on Netflix, Game Changers. Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. I just want to ask, I'm going to let you finish what you have to say, but you're making some excellent points. I want to let you finish. So go ahead.
For sure. So it was always the people who were on the highest levels, because they had the more knowledge, not because they was hiding it from people, but knowledge has a way of initiating people, the chosen, to get it. So that's why you can talk to 85% of the people, but only 5 people are ready to receive it. The other people can't even get it. They can only receive it from a mass stream like rappers. This is why we get mad at. We can't get mad at rappers. Most people can only receive information from them because it's so broad and flashy. But to get the real knowledge, you got to be ready to go through a journey to get it. And so the knowledge itself will purify a person to get to it. So now as you see caste systems in society, you got the bottom people doing fuckery, and then middle levels of people who can see people doing fuckery. They kind of like it, but they kind of like what's... And then as you go up, the people, it purifies and filters itself more and more, because in order to think a certain type of way, you have to be conducting yourself a certain type of way.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. You said that they would throw the meat to the bottom.
For sure.
And that we should, as we go up the ladder, we should start to become less eaters. I think I beg to differ. I think that today in time we can see what the elite are doing. The elite they do throw the meat at the bottom, the hormone meat, the steroid meat. Let me finish. I think going up in consciousness means to eat cleaner meat. It means to eat less meat, but it means to eat cleaner. Holistic food. It means to eat the whole food. And look at today. Look at what the hood is eating. We're eating processed food. But as you get more intelligent, you start to eat more holistic food. That's why you go to Whole Foods and it's so expensive. So what we need to understand is everything's happening right now. So I think that it's a bit of extreme for you to say that eat less not to eat less, but to eat cleaner, eat holistic, eating, meaning that less minerals, less processes, additives, additive food. I think that the more holistic we eat, the more greater our conscious and clearer our conscious is. And that's why there's whole foods. Whole foods are very important, and this is where we're coming into that brings balance. I don't think that we eat less. I think that we eat less processed and more whole, because we're trying to become whole. We're trying to become complete. We eat more, less. What I'm saying is your food is less processed. Instead of you saying go up, throw the meat to them. No, look at what they're doing with the processed meat. Look at what we're doing with meat with hormones. We throw that to the hood. But look what rich people are eating. Look what the elite are eating. They're eating holistically. They have all the vitamins, all the minerals. Like you said, they took out all the negative things and got right to the point, which is holistic. And this is what I'm saying to you. When you go to Whole Foods, you see how expensive it is? It's because they took everything that wasn't supposed to be there and they're giving you quality over quantity. And we have to eat holistically. Whatever. Let me just, I'm gonna say this last part and I'm gonna give it to you. I think that meat, fish, should be a side dish to our meals. I think we should keep, like I said, keep our vegan diet, which is very clean, and add a little fish mainly fish, because and a lot of bottom feeders, because you can get most of your B12 because they eat bacteria. So if you don't want to eat your own poop, or you're not a gardener or a farmer, because everybody
should be in your natural state. Remember, natural state.
Natural state. I'm saying that the shellfish or the bottom feeders are the ones that eat the bacteria that give us that B12. And I can see why we started to eat fish who eat the bottom feeders. I can see why the dolphin is one of the most intelligent beings on the planet, because it eats those things. I could see how B12 can be the very essential thing that makes the brain fully come into its function, as far as nervous system, and as far as your body becoming me as an entity that I am in my energies. Once I tapped into B12, and this time and place, after being cleansed, vegan, my cells going to Costa Rica, going to Panama, cleansing myself in nature, then coming back and adding that holistic food has made me even more intelligent and made me more balanced. And you can tell even in my attitudes.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is that this is gonna, and I'm not. What happens is you'll notice that at first, and then you'll start to get even some of the more negative effects that come with even eating the meat. It's like it's a trade-off. It's saying, all right, in order to get this weed I want, I got to go to the hood to get it. Now the hood ain't that bad until niggas is outside, and that's the rest of the shit that will come with the meat. You know what I'm saying? The rest of that shit that you got, the uric acid and that stuff that wears down your body. But I'm being realistic. Even though, hold on,
holistic meat.
For sure, but everybody can't get holistic meat. That's what I'm telling you. To do that, you'll have to start.
I'm talking about fish. I mean,
what fish though?
You said that the Egyptians were vegetarians.
The ones who was like creating the pyramids, the ones who was writing the shit. They was the regular people.
No, that's not true, brother.
That's 100% true. It's definitely true. They was eating fish. The regular society was.
The Egyptians that built the pyramids.
I'm talking about the priests.
I have a picture here.
Got you.
First of all, they love garlic. They ate a lot of fish because the Nile, they lived off the Nile that ran right there by them.
I'm talking about the high priest, the ones who created, these are the regular people.
The high priest was the ones who delegated everybody to eat this because it evolved their diet.
Exactly, but they wasn't eating it themselves. They weren't eating it themselves. So you imagine you guys as the high priest, and now the diet that you're giving to other people is saying, yes, you guys need to be doing this stuff. But when you come to these upper echelons, if you can make it here, because you won't be allowed to, because it will purify itself through you. If you can make it here, then this is how we operate up here. That's what I'm telling you. I get what you're saying, and what you're saying is correct. And I'm telling you, as a plant, I eat plant-based. Everybody, I eat plant-based. I'm vegan, that stupid word. But what I'm telling you is that I'm not against eating meat because the morality sense of it and all of that type of stuff. But cobalamin, which is B12, that comes from the earth still. It still comes from the soil. And in our natural state, we will be digging up in the earth. You wouldn't be washing your hands. You will go and go fuck your girl, and then that B12 will get you, and then the food, and then it would all...
Right, no, I understand what you're saying. I understand the natural state of what you're saying. But vegans today aren't doing that.
Vegans, you're right. So that's why we got to kill the vegan.
And on top of that, I think that humans have evolved to get everything they need from cultivating and mutating the food and it's mutation or not modifying our food. I think that we should look at, like you said, don't take away from the intelligence of what humans have done. So let's look at how instead of eating these big meats, dissed everything down to a chicken. I mean, seriously, look at what we did. We've modified ourselves down to chicken, fish, and shrimp and stuff like that. But I do see that now that we're in the end of age and we're in the end of time, I do see that there are the 7 deadly sins playing out, which are, greed, gluttony. You can see that we're overdoing these things. Like I said, meat should be a side dish. It should be something of a side dish.
You gotta write that down. You should write that down, though. You gotta coin that phrase.
Yeah, meat should be a side dish. Fish should be a side dish. These things should be a side dish, and our main food should be vegetarian, whatever you want to call it, pescatarian, vegetarian. I think that meat should be a side dish, and it should not be consumed as much as we eat it. We should eat it way less. We should eat it 2-3 times a week at this point. And this is what I'm recommending. I'm recommending that it be a side dish to your vegan diet. That's all I'm saying.
For sure. So, but you're following, as you can see, it starts because, when you get into politics, that's when people get mad at you, and then their emotions get in the way. I'm an emotionally balanced person, so I understand that it hurts people for you to go from being vegan to not being vegan because you think it's... But like you said, vegans aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Nobody is. Only 5% of every diet, of every religion, of every faction, of every group is doing what they're supposed to do. The rest of the people ain't doing it. So that's why when someone looks into Christianity, they look into Islam, and they only 5% of the people can do it right. Only 5% of meat-eating people can eat the meat the right way. Only 5% of the vegans can eat and supplement. Only 5% of the Christians can follow the Bible. Only 5% of the Muslims can. Only a small percentage of people can do it. The most of them can't. So everybody's going around attacking everybody else's doctrine when, nigga, you ain't doing when you can't even follow your own things that you doing. So that's why the people are mad. And so when it comes to you, since you have more shock value, the wording, that's why I'm glad we have this conversation, because this wording will help you. Make me a side dish so people can really get the understanding. Is like, hold on, bro. We got to get past the meat for morality thing. Like, a higher life form is going to eat a lower life form. Now, higher and lower doesn't mean more important or less important. It means whatever one can sustain itself at any given time the best, has the highest intelligence, and their job is different. It's not more important because like I told you, the earth will eat your ass, which is a bigger life form than you, and it will use the smallest motherfuckers to do it. The smallest organisms will break you down. So we're past the morality conversation. What we are talking about is putting that 93 in your body majority of time, and when you're running late, then you grab that meat, that 87, put that thing in your tank, and then you keep rocking. You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel like meat is the 87. Go ahead.
I think, because we have to take into consideration, like, it's exactly what we said. Like, veganism, like eating all the plants, the vegetables, the fruits, and everything, that is a good source of intake of fuel for the human body. But the fish and the chicken, whatever, in the range of meats, the clean, lean meats that you want to eat, that is necessary because for our intake of certain minerals that we do not get from the plants. If you go a year without...
Like which ones?
You tell us, because you're the nutritionist.
B12 for sure, which is one of the most important vitamins that...
I told you the other place you can get B12 from now.
No, listen. Okay, you said algae. If civilization was to fall right now, and the little tanks, they don't have no oxygen in it and everything like that, how will we go into the sea to grab this algae? We're not in that capacity, which
Have you ever smelled algae?
That point, which brings
I eat that
us to
shit.
the point of evolving where we get our nutrition from.
Oh yeah, you're talking about sea moss.
Yeah, but we have to take into
But
consideration.
do sea moss grow in your neighborhood?
No, it grows in the neighborhood you was telling us to get to, nigga. It was good where you were telling us to get to.
But
It's where it grow at.
What about?
Let's take into consideration that most people, like all of the people that you were saying, the 5% is going to be there. But the majority of the masses is not. So we have to build a bridge. We have to build that bridge in order for people to get to that point.
And look at us, Carbonation right now, politically. We're political slaves, right? I mean, look at us. You see us right now. Although we know where we're supposed to live, because of the word that we speak, and because of the things that we've done, we've been demonized. And look at where we're at. We're literally in a position where, by speaking and teaching the word, and it needed controversy for it to even ring bells. And I know people was like, you missed the message is missed it. No, we needed to ring bells for us to do what we're doing at this moment. But no one was gonna listen to us. Just how many people listen to you when you talking? And you should thank us for having the controversy behind it, because now people can look. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want that. I don't want that. Like, that's not what I.
No, I'm not. I did it so you don't have to do it. Is what I'm saying to you.
Correct. So now, so that's good because you got accountability. So now, when you retract, now you need to take the best of what you're doing. So now, when you go back out to these places, now you making sure that you can just basically you can have a basic understanding of the language, so you can blend in better, be more covert. Because this way, it won't make you stick out because your energy will already be too big.
Right now, you have a point on that, and that's what I'm doing. But are you eating B12 right now? Are you eating?
Yeah, I just had. No, I don't eat meat. I just had a smoothie bowl with this algae and this shit, and it's gonna make you feel.
Listen to me very closely, because I think I could see your skin, and I could see that you've been out in the jungle. I could tell.
Yeah, you know.
The same fungus is on the trees. I'm telling you, I could see myself in you. If you ever look at the trees, there's like white spots of fungus on the trees. Mm-hmm. We did that too. What I'm telling you is this. It's ever since I've been starting to eat the meat again, you can see my skin clearly has cleared up from those patches. Those patches are they're eating away your melanocytes. I'm serious. A fungus that eats away your melanocytes. I'm serious. But I'm trying to tell you that B12 is not only good for your brain and your nerves, but it's also good for your skin. And I would urge you to try it on yourself.
And hair.
I would urge you to try it just right now. Are you back in the States?
Yeah.
All right. While you back in the States, have some wild caught salmon. I'm serious. Just put a little bit on your plate and eat a little bit, and then in a week or 2 weeks, watch your skin. I'm just trying to tell you something.
Nah, I hear what you're saying.
Even in the fish oil, there's other minerals that we haven't even discovered that are in. Here's what I'm saying. Beyond B12, there's minerals in the fish. There's things in the fish, in the meat, that we haven't even discovered that the body is using for health. It's just a matter of, and here's the thing, I'm going to say this. Black people, melanated people, should we say we call them black? Melanated people, we require more of whatever the less melanated being requires. From sunlight to minerals, we require more.
For sure.
And if we don't consider the fact that whatever the requirement is as far as the levels of B12 for the less melanated person, we need to double the dose for us. The whatever the required for their sunlight or vitamin D, we need to double the dose for us. Because what I'm telling you is that there are things that the European hasn't discovered within fish, minerals that they haven't discovered on the even, you know what I'm saying, that we don't even have a name for, that you get from these fishes, these wild caught fishes. So I'm asking you to just try it. If it doesn't work, stop it. It's not going to hurt you either way.
For sure, I got you on that. But
wild salmon. I'm just saying, wild salmon.
I got you.
3 times.
For me, I'm just protesting a little more because where we at as black people, we don't need to make that transition yet. We need to make sure like we we doing more plants still because we got to bring down those metabolic illnesses. So I'm just protesting with them because I know how to get the stuff I
Why
need.
not promote holistic eating? Why not promote, take away the processed food, the fast food? Our people need to stop eating fast food.
They won't.
And look, in the information age, we want our information instant. Everything instant gratification. Right now, you got about 15 seconds to get my attention unless it's live.
Right.
But, and this is what I'm saying to you. So we should be teaching our people stop eating processed foods and to eat.
Yeah, man. But
and to learn the amount and learn the amount to eat. I think that is what we need to teach our people rather than telling them to just eat plant-based. We need to tell them to eat holistic foods. Go into Whole Foods and eat your foods without ingredients. The less ingredients, the better.
So it's what I call it is the slogan I call is different roads, same goals. You do that, and I'm gonna do because we got to do it in other because everybody ain't gonna get it one way.
If you tell people to eat vegan and I'm telling them to eat meat, they're gonna like, wait, I was told to eat not. We confusing them.
Right, because there's still tiers. There's tiers of how things go. Remember, the people on the bottom, it's always going to be tiers the way people get information. And that's the reason, that's our problem. Listen to this. Hear me out right here. Our problem is that we have to fight when people have opposing views, but it's different roles, same goals. This is saying when you once you make it past this level, you can't. And so this was what was Sabi, and Sabi was a genius because of this reason. He was saying it, and he was saying it in the most.
He was deficient.
Huh? Because he was locked up. He was locked up, and
I want you to know that. And when he wasn't locked up, he was clearly sick and deficient of minerals.
I mean, he was 84 years old.
It doesn't matter if you're 84 years old or not.
That lived to 184.
But seriously though,
really strong. But might I add balance to the situation because I understand both points. But this is the balance that's going to build the bridge to both aspects. It is the fact that we all know that our whole generation and generations before us has been eating processed foods. I'm talking about for a long time. So we do need to take the step of veganism to clear our temples of all of the gunk that's in it. Once we come, everybody's, and I want to say this before I get into that point, everybody's healing point is different. For you, my brother, how long have you been vegan?
Like 5 years, about to be 5-6 years.
You are, I can already tell from your face, from your mind, from how you sound that you've already hit your healing point. You need to start taking the precautions to now reintroducing those vitamins to your body in order to get you to the next level. Now,
he the dude in the gym that's already chipped up. Like, yo, dude, you get that? Like Jabbar said, like
everybody's healing point is different. It's at a different point, and we understand that. What we need to be teaching everybody is that, okay, if you're at a point, we need to make our points very specific in what we're saying, because you can tell somebody to eat vegan and you can tell somebody to eat holistic, but if they're in the transition of both, they're not going to know what to do. So this is how we eradicate veganism versus holistic eating, or whatever you want to call it. You tell the person simply as this: you've been eating processed food your whole life. You need to become vegan to clear your temple. Once you hit a healing point, once you hit that healing point, and if you don't know what that healing point is, then you need to stay connected to people who have already hit that healing point so that they can guide you into holistic eating. After you've cleared your temple and your mind of all the gunk, then now it is time to introduce the holistic eating. This is the most simplest way that we can teach people the right thing to do without making an extremity on veganism versus holistic eating, because both plays a very major component, but it's really important. The end goal is holistic eating. Period.
Yes, because I feel like if we could just cut out the middleman if you want. We can cut out veganism all the way. We can listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is crazy. We can just cut out veganism all together and go straight into holistic eating. I'm gonna tell you why. Because number one, the body heals from the food it's supposed to eat. Our food is our medicine. Our food is all this. So if the goal is holistic food, why not just eat holistic food? Why? I think that just eating holistic food within balance, the way we're supposed to eat, It will cleanse our body to where it's supposed to be. I think at this time and place, I don't think I should tell anybody to be vegan at this time and place. As far as what's going on in the cosmos and the arrangements that's going on in the cosmos, this is not the time to be vegan. And I think that's what I'm trying to tell you through the universe. I think the universe is trying to tell you that through me right now. This ain't the time to do it. I think that we need to seek balance. Seek balance. Seek balance. I'm telling you that it is an extremity for us to go in, and this is why veganism is so effective. I'm going to tell you why. Here it is. People have been eating processed food their whole life. They start eating vegan, right? Which is not the complete meal of what they're eating, but it's a step toward what they're supposed to be eating, right? So they're now saying, ever since I've been eating vegan, I'm stronger. I can do more. No, it's not that you can do more. It's just that your body has now cleansed itself from all the damn poison you've been putting in processed food you've been putting in, and you're blaming it on veganism. This is a trap. Now, so check it out. So now people are like, I'm so much healthy. Look at my. But see, this is what happens. We go from being cleansed from the vegan diet to being deficient. And now I'm gonna tell you why. Because we should have went into holistic eating. I said it went into veganism, which is basically veganism add poultry. And I'm gonna leave it like this. Stop the extremities. Is what I learned. Seek balance. Stop the extremities. Veganism is extreme. Let's eat holistically with a balanced meal. Point blank. Period. There it is.
You done? What can I respond to?
Go ahead. I'm done. It's on you, man.
Here's what you're missing, though. Here's what you're missing. You got to watch the people who leave from veganism and go back to eating meat again, because then it will happen again. And now you got to watch these people again, because now you'll be able to get that intuitive common sense, which you have, and I have an element of that as well. Go watch them now, because they'll move from the trend and then they'll go back into that. What happened when you went vegan or when I went vegan is that I learned how to eat. I learned how to eat, and the reason why we eat, and the reason why we need to eat a certain amount. And this reset my palate. I would never have gotten away from processed foods. It would have been impossible if I didn't make these transitions and to understand it. Now, since I did it, I have a high reverence for it, and since we have the technology, now I understand how to go around it to get the extra stuff I need. So even with you guys, and I'm not coming at you or nothing, I'm just adding it to the conversation. Now when y'all get back to nature, you got to add those herbs and those minerals back in, like the herbs from plants. The herbs, I'm talking about herbs, like, because most people don't understand, like, oregano.
We eat all the herbs.
But you wasn't, drinking herbs and taking supplements, not because you think supplements is fake. Not you, but most people think supplements is fake pills. But just taking a motherfucking burdock root that come out the ground, chopping that thing up, putting it in the tea, that add all that extra iron.
We do that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I'm saying, but here's what I'm saying about it. I want to say something. I want you to notice something. I've been out in Central America for 5 years.
Correct.
Or maybe even 3 or 4. I don't know. I've been out there for a minute. Listen. Do you know that America gets the best food from there?
Of course.
Do you know that when we were there, we ate less good than we did here? They're all the good food.
No.
Let me finish. The good stuff that comes from Panama, Costa Rica, is sent to the U.S. It's funny, just like in Africa, all of the minerals, the people live right under, they're the ones that live the poorest. If you ever went to these countries and you see how they build these cities and things that the Caucasian needs or white supremacy needs, and then you go back to their home in a little bush and they got this little shack, and I'm like, whoa, y'all doing all this construction and y'all live all the poor. The same thing as this, and it's sad but true. The United States of America gets imported the very best Panama has to offer. Costa Rica sends the United States of America the best food. So when you go to Whole Foods, and 2-hour advantage, what I've learned through traveling is like 2-hour advantage. Being American or so-called American has been an advantage for us.
It is an advantage.
And we have to be able to utilize the system against itself and travel. So what seems to be our enemy is in disguise our actual footstool. So when I look at it, I'm like, wow, America is the most powerful country and everything gets sent here, all the quality that that Europe has to offer, that Africa has to offer, gets sent to the European countries. So we have to look at this and realize why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then look at it and say, wow, as we've been in America, my skin has cleared up. Funny. Why? Because when I go to the organic section here, I'm really getting organic food. When I was in Central America, I got what was there. I got what they sold. I got what was there. And it wasn't the same quality. It was not the same quality as it was in the States. And it's sad but true.
And listen, and at one point, watching, we haven't argued one point. We had the same points. Here's what I'm adding to that. I'm adding to it. The point is that now we came from America, so this gives us a certain amount of privilege. We utilize this privilege when you go out to stuff and to take the best with you. When you contract, you take the best with you. So even before, when you was doing it, even you was vegan, it was kind of ahead of the time. And so even you didn't have the rest of the knowledge. So even when you've been talking about B12 lately, you can tell because you won't even usually talk about something until you have it completely grasped. So this is something that you kind of learning on the fly a little bit, and you're doing well, but some elements is missing because now that you're in America, you get to re-up your ability to see, oh, these niggas got the best of the best. So when I get back to the tropics, now I know how to find these things, live the lifestyle I was trying to live, and complete it under the sun. And that's what I'm talking about. We don't want to shun or what Americans or whatever we have done here because we have created great things.
I never shunned what we're doing in America.
No, you never have.
I always, right? That's why when people was looking at me in Panama, they're like, yo, what's the difference in the way you live and the way we live? I said the quality. It's the difference in quality.
But it's the wording. It's the wording. It's the way, not the wording.
No, listen, one thing I learned about life is that confused people, no matter what you say to them or how clear you say something, they're going to perceive it confused. You didn't listen. No matter what I do, did you misunderstand it?
Not me, because
look, that's what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you is, I'm not for everybody. I'm for you.
Sure.
The 5%.
I'm for 5%.
But your following is not the 5%. They're the 85%.
I don't. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Everybody else
and
that
you
follows
and
me,
listen, when you anchor.
Listen, what I'm saying is that I think that I'm for the elite. I always said I come to collect the elite and convict the weak. You are the elite. I'm not worried about the rest of the 85% or the 95%. I'm sorry, 85%. I'm not worried about the rest of the people, right? So listen, let me say this.
So then why they all following you?
Because of the drama. No, listen, because of the controversy that I'm utilizing. I utilize the negative energy to send out. Listen, when one of my haters do a video about me, right?
Right.
There's people that 2.5 thousand people, 2,000 people, right, might watch this video. Out of 2,000 people, maybe 100 people might really grasp what I was saying and doing, or do their research. What I'm saying to you is, even when I'm put out negatively, it's the numbers that you see. Everybody that's watching me right now is 235 people. It's only 5% of those people out of 235 people, which rounds about to be 10, 15 people.
For sure.
About 15 people. It's about 15 people like yourself and I that are grasping it. Everyone else is watching to see what goes wrong with Eliana, looking at her face, looking at her, looking at her skin,
I got you.
Looking at the background, trying to find out the location. They're playing with their lives and wasting their time.
For sure. And let me interject because let me say this one last thing, because when I interject with you, trust me, we build it. I'm saying the most gracious
I
way.
I feel that.
So that strategy that you was utilizing, we know that's the wrestling strategy. That's when Stone Cold come out and he kill all the bad people and everybody hate him, and then he needs to eventually transition to a mutual anti-hero role. It's time. Is that strategy that you use? That's
I didn't do this on purpose.
Yeah,
I did not do this.
But it's your skill set. Your skill set and your talents and your gift. Your skill set makes it easier for you to utilize that energy better. It just does. You know what I'm saying? Jupiter and Scorpio.
Like when Nana snapped out and live, that was not staged. This is all
It wasn't staged, but you, even how you admitted, you knew you got a Jupiter and Scorpio. You know how to get to her in certain type of ways, and then when it came out, you utilized that to show people because you fed them a little bit. And when you fed them a little bit, guess who you woke up? Susie Q, 85%, who's on a mission to take you down. And then Susie Q wake up 10 more people and they come take you down. And that strategy becomes just as much harmful as it is helpful because you will wake up.
No. It's funny because go ahead. I'm gonna let you go, my queen.
This is where I must interject because what people don't realize is that everybody on the face of this earth, where they're the elite, where they're or whether they're not, everybody, this message that we're speaking about right now has to hit the minds of everybody on the face of this planet. Period. And that's what we're doing. Whether they're watching to look for our location or not, whether you're getting it, you understand it, you must be convicted and you must be able to hear the message and get it. And this is all that's happening.
Right, we had to do, listen, this is what I'm gonna say. It's funny, as soon as we came back to the States, not days after, YouTube came out with a law that took all the harassment and bullying away. So listen, it's like the universe is doing this through us. And then look, did you see how many videos got took down or are still being taken down if you even talk about us in a negative way?
Yeah, for sure. But then
did you watch that? No, wait. I'm asking you. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see the play out? I was like, wow.
I see it. But just like how it works for you, usually you'll get it out, and then it's up for you to capitalize on this space to recreate the way you do
Absolutely.
things.
You see me right now. I'm in more of a
I do see it. I just want it to be consistent. That's it. I see it because I see it.
Hey, look, I see it too. I want you to know
but sometimes, but listen, bro, sometimes you get bored, and now you understand, like, come on, man.
No, listen.
Sometimes you may get bored.
I get what you're saying, and I love that you love me, that you understand me. You love me, you know? And I feel like, really like you're my family because it's like you really get it. You get it. Okay, so
you need Scorpios around you. You don't got. You need to have Scorpios around you.
There's a lot of Scorpio energy around me.
You gotta have Scorpios around you because Scorpios is your mirror. Scorpios is constantly your mirror, and you shy away from Scorpios.
There's so much Scorpio energy around me, and there's so much Cancer energy around me. It's just not in the sun. It's not. You genuinely
shy away from Scorpio suns though, because
Scorpio suns, no, they shy away from me.
No, buddy,
listen, this is what I'm saying to you. I never don't accept people. If you can make it to me, I'm not going to deny you. You understand?
Stop, man. Hey, look, you got a Jupiter and Scorpio, so you understand how to position energy. So a Scorpio be like, I hate this motherfucker. I can't control him. You know, that's a lower like a
No. It's not that I can't control you.
Zero Scorpions.
No, it's not.
I'm talking about Scorpio would say they can't control you. A Scorpio would want to control you when they want.
I do want to control my environment. I want to control things. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not. I think that everybody, whether they know it or not, want to control their environment because that's how we create our own happiness. But what I'm saying to you is this is beyond me. What I've learned in this relationship with the universe is that to submit and submit to the will of Allah, submit to the will of the universe. It's not me that you're seeing. It is the universe playing out. Maybe the universe doesn't want that energy around me like that. What I'm saying, go ahead.
There was one particular time where we had a Scorpio energy. I'm talking about Scorpio in the sun, the Mercury, the moon, everywhere. This energy completely shut itself down. Like completely shut itself down. And it wasn't because she did anything to this energy. It's just that's just the way that it's flowing. And we can't give a tangible fact of why.
I could tell you why, because when these two polarities are alpha energies or or gamma energies or anything in nature is like this, right? If you have two of these energies that are simply holding the same amount of space at the same time, one has to either shut down or the other one has to, it cannot share the same space in close proximity. So they will naturally repel, and they just need space. It doesn't mean that they need to disagree. They just need space.
For sure. So in that repellent, so what people don't see is that people see a thing come together and repel and it goes away. And they say those two things didn't meet up. What they don't never see is that those milliseconds in between that with those two things shared information with. They came together, said, let's get the fuck away from it. And they bounced out. But people only see the action of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Even when you breathe and contract, when you breathe, your body is saying, here's the air. When it come back, it's coming back to the bloodstream. It's saying, hey, recycle through me. I need these minerals so you can come back out. There's information being transferred there, and that's what communication is. It's not about talking. It's only transferring of signals, and that's what the point you used earlier. Did I hear you? Yeah, nigga, because you putting out signals, and I can pick up signals. The rest of these motherfuckers ain't picking up the signal, because when you utilize the strategy or something that you will awaken somebody who's getting the signal and they don't like it.
Like that.
Right.
Like when people are lit like that, I love to talk to them because it's like one of us.
You can build.
Right.
You can.
But like when people like him come into my atmosphere, you watch them.
Oh yeah.
You would have to, if he came in my atmosphere, he would have to mellow his energy down, or he would feel like he couldn't completely, like an energy like Joy. Joy came in and she said, I'm a dominant energy. I feel like he's draining my energy. It's not that I'm draining your energy. It's just that you're coming into my life, my world. And you're not able to move the way you feel like you want to be able to move because I've controlled my environment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
certain people and their strength and their control and how they can't coexist with me because they're like me.
Yeah.
So they need to...
It's space. It's just
right. I always attract more feminine energy that is willing to flow with my energy rather than masculine energy that comes in and then be able... I'm going to attract feminine energy because feminine energy is able to come in. And the masculine energy that you have is in feminine form and it's also teaching me. So the repulsion of the energy that I get from you, it's in feminine form, and I can digest it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not to the point, and even sometimes me and you will repel in these spaces. But at the end of the day, I can digest it because of my energy and how it's just nature and how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's energy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I just feel like I like his energy. You know what I'm saying? It's just that that's just how it goes. And people are like, well, everyone around you is docile and da-da-da. They just, you're controlling them. I'm not in control. I control my environment and people that are compatible with me.
Yeah. That's just like...
And then sometimes we are not compatible for a moment and you go and so someone like Joy who has a lot of dominant energy will sometimes feel like, I'm not allowed to be myself here because of the rules and regulations and how things run here. So it's not that I'm saying nothing to them directly, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Nah, it's just that they already get it. They're like, okay, I'm in this man's world. Yeah. And I can't, and no sense of being mad about it because you came into my world not knowing who you was and who I was and what this was. And now you're mad because you're saying, oh, fuck this nigga, he's controlling people. It's not that I'm controlling people. It's just that the people around me get me and can flow with my energy.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
Period. And they're more feminine energy because of the balance. The balance has to be that way.
Yeah.
So you see everybody's weaker than you. Why? Because you see masculinity as strength. You don't see femininity as strength. Is there something going on within your mind where you don't see feminine energy as a form of strength? It's a different kind
it's like this is how I equate it in my mind now that you're speaking about it and everything. It's like we have to take into consideration this is your domain.
This is my life.
Just as if that was, these people on this screen, that's their domain, their life, that's their
space. If someone comes into your life,
they have to flow with your energy.
Anybody that comes in your life has to flow with your energy.
Exactly.
Unless you're the type of person that lets somebody come in your life and take over.
And do, you know what I'm saying? But it has to be beneficial to you. It just depends on how you want it to flow.
Like you came back and I felt like what you said was, and you kind of took over with your energy, and I shared that energy with you as long as me and you had that agreement.
Exactly.
And you can be a masculine energy here as long as me and you have the agreement. But what happens even and then is just that there's two polarities, two pulling, entities, and that's never worked out in my group. But I'm open to it. I've let them in. It's how many masculine dudes since you've been here?
Not like
Yeah, it was.
They've came,
but they left.
Quickly left because
it wasn't.
It's like my energy.
Like Goku came. It was this other dude. It was a couple dudes that came just on a humbug that wasn't on camera before I was letting my life on camera when I came to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And then when I first started my journey in Honduras, and I was figuring out what was going on in my life and started organizing my life and putting rules and regulations to my life. There was a lot of dudes that came with the same kind of bravado energy, and it's a difference between being alpha and being macho. And that's just another thing.
Yeah, because we can definitely go into the macho, and I think that even some women have that mind, especially a woman with Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy wants control. They want that dominance. So when it's placed in a woman, that woman feels like
right. And most feminine men come off macho.
That's true.
That's the thing. Most feminine men, they cover themselves with the macho attitude, but true masculinity, like with me, I'm not even masculine. I'm balanced. You know what I'm saying? I'm balanced between masculine and feminine.
You think I'm balanced, or you think I'm masculine?
I think you balance because you're masculine. Like your energy. I think that because your energies are balanced or masculine, that you know what I'm saying, as a female, or you tap into your actual physical being. Yeah. Your physical being, then you can balance out. Yeah. And I think that your Cancer moon helps out a lot with you tapping into your physical. Because your physical is made of water, and that's what is emotion. So a lot of people are detached from their old bodies. Yeah. That's what. So for somebody to be detached from their emotions, they have to be detached from their bodies. Your body represents emotion. It represents feeling. It represents electrical signals.
What you feel.
Your senses. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those that are disconnected from their own body are the ones that are seemingly more masculine, because they don't react to emotions or feelings, you know what I'm saying, or stuff like that. But I'm very masculine and feminine. It's just that my femininity is wrapped in masculinity, and because I'm a male, that also detaches me from emotions as well. And I'm learning through you, which was the counterpart that came in my life, to balance my energy and to be smart enough to allow someone like you to come in and to help me grow. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm just glad I wasn't stupid enough to not, or be someone, because when people start to be able to tap into their own power, sometimes they're not able to grow, because they're not able to be wrong. They're not able to take the fact that, yo, man, I might be wrong into consideration. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like when me and the brother was talking, we didn't have to dominate each other. I was showing restraint, and I was showing control, and letting him respect, and letting him talk, and then he talk. So you could tell how the energy would flow between me and him in real life. We probably would get along for a time and space, but it only takes that one moment. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? And then we would be like, you know, it's better that you go your way.
We can always tell when somebody would. And it's not even like a disagreement or anything. It's just like looking in nature. When you see a lion, there's many lions. I'm talking about actual like male lions that's in nature, but all of those male lions do not share the same space unless there's a male lion that's a beta
and I feel like
that alpha.
That's why there's tribes of people.
Absolutely.
That's why there's tribes. I think that you should be able to create your own tribe and do your own thing with that space. If that's what it is, you take the knowledge, you have the knowledge, he has the knowledge, we can build from a distance, we can even visit each other. I just don't think that we should hold the same space, and that's just okay. That's okay.
That is okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's absolutely. I think everybody should be living together.
There's many villages.
Many tribes. Many tribes. Yeah. So we only gonna turn the comments off if they're immature and being disrespectful. You remember his name, babe?
I do not remember.
I think it's Mad X.
I think there's somebody else. You got somebody.
Yo, what's going on, Chief?
Peace, God. How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, yo. I just wanted to, like, you know, this is my first time, like, actually talking to you, and I wanted to just touch up on the topic right now, because, you know, you're talking about, like, you know, going back from being vegan to just going back to eating meat and whatnot. So I wanted to just touch up on the topic, what about, you know, you've heard of, like, you know, semen retention and sacred secretion?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
So, like, I want just a little bit more, like, for you to shed a little more light on that to me, because I want to grasp it a little bit more. If you get what I'm saying.
Semen retention?
And sacred secretion, mainly sacred secretion.
I think that it's important for us to have discipline and order in everything that we do. And balance, and seek balance. If you're not having sex with your wife, you shouldn't be having sex at all.
Of course. I'm actually married, so I understand.
Okay, so what is the semen retention for?
Well, that was just to touch bases with the sacred secretion. Sorry.
All right, let's ask ourselves, and this is funny because, and this is funny, let's have an in-depth conversation because I wanted to have this tonight, but we can have it right now. Obviously, it's being sparked right now. Let's talk about what the penis is.
Okay.
Maturely. What is your penis? What is it? I mean, we use it. It feels good. We are bashful about it. Well, what is your penis? What is it? Technically? What is it?
Technically, I would say it's a reproduction organ.
It is a reproduction organ, but what is it? Seriously, what is your penis? Like, we never take the time to ask that question. What is it? I mean, we know what our fingers are. We know what our fingers are. We know what they're for. You know, there's multiple purposes for our fingers. What I'm asking you is, what is your penis? What is it?
I don't know. I'm telling you, it's a reproduction organ.
Right, someone said it's muscle, it's flesh, but what is it? I mean, now let's break down the penis. Let's look at it for what it is technically, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the shaft, you have the head, which has, little bumps at the ridges. What are these bumps? What are these bumps for? Why does it feel so good when you touch the head of the penis instead of the shaft? Why do you feel the sensation when you touch the head of the penis, but you don't feel it on the shaft? This is just mature conversations to understand the technologies of the body.
Okay.
Now, when we examine the penis and we look at it for what it is, and we say, well, why? What is my penis? In a mature way. Why isn't all my penis feel the sensation that the head of my penis feels? Why is only the shaft? It feels kind of like I can feel it, but it's not as sensational as the tip. Why? Why is that?
To baffle the question.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying as we start to meditate about what the penis is, and what are we even doing when we're having sex? Like, seriously, it feels good, so we get, anytime we have a feeling, we can get drunk with the feeling and possessed with the feeling and not even think anymore because all of our thoughts is in our feelings. But let us ask ourselves, what are we doing? What is this? Why do we have to do this? What is it? Why do we go in and out?
Against a sense of vibration,
Why do we have to go in and out? And when we do go in and out, it seems to be creating some kind of friction. And then when we create that friction, because of the rubbing on our head, and on the inside of the walls of the vagina are the same sensation tissues as the tip of your head. And so where the head meets the walls of the vagina, we're going in and out, in and out, in and out, creating these pleasures, right? These nerve endings create these pleasures for what? And I'm getting to a point here. What is it? What are we doing? Why? Oh, it seems like we're trying to conjure up something as we're going in and out. We're going in and out. We're trying to work something up. We're trying to come to something, arrive to something. What are we arriving to? Climax. We get to the climax of what we're arriving to. But we're doing this for a purpose. We're just doing it because it feels good. But what is it? What is this? Why are we doing it? What is the penis? What is the purpose? We never ask ourselves that. And I wanted to talk about this tonight, but I'm going to talk about it now since it's brought up, and I think that it's being naturally brought out. What are we doing when we have
like
sex?
Like you said about the reflection of you. Like, you know, I understand that when you say that you're the universe itself manifested, you know, in form as am I, she, and you know everything that's happening in time right now is happening, you know, according to just what would I say, divine timing.
Right, divine timing. So when we ask ourselves, what is the penis? This is for semen retention. We have to ask ourselves, what is the purpose of sex, of physical sex? What are we doing? It is a ritual. Obviously, this is a ritual. This is something that we come together to do, right? To serve a purpose. Whether that be pleasure, that's called a ritual.